Hello kids! Today I'm gonna read On Beyond Zebra by Dr. Seuss. Said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell, my very young friend who is learning to spell. The A is for ape, the B is for bear, the C is for camel, the H is for hare, the M is for mouse, and the R is for red. I know all the 26 letters like that. Through to Z is for zebra. I know them very well, said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell. So now I know everything anyone knows, from beginning to end, from the start to the close, because Z is as far as the alphabet goes. Then he almost fell flat on his face on the floor when I picked up the chalk and I drew one letter more, a letter he never had dreamed before. And I said, "You can stop if you want with the Z, because most people stop with the Z, but not me. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with the Z. I'm telling you this because you're one of my friends. My alphabet starts where your alphabet ends." My alphabet starts with the letter called Yus. It's the letter I use to spell Yuzamatus. You'll be sort of surprised what there is to be found once you go beyond Z and start poking around. So on beyond zebra, explore like Columbus. Discover new letters, like the WUM is for Wombus, my high-spouting whale who lives high on a hill and who never comes down till it's time to refill. So on beyond Z, it's high time you were shown that you really don't know all there is to be known. Then just step a step further past WUM is for Wombus, and there you will find and the is for umbus, a sort of a cow with one head and one tail. But to milk this great cow, you need more than one pail. She has 98 faucets that give milk quite nicely, perhaps 99, I forget just precisely. And boy, she's something most people don't see, because most people stop at the Z, but not me. I rumble, I scramble through swamp and through swamp, where the letters get better, like letters like humph. There is a real handy letter. What's handy about it? You just can't spell humph-a-dumph without it. If you stay home with zebra, you're stuck in a rut. But on beyond zebra, you're anything but. Why, I know a fancy letter called fuddle. I used it in spelling Miss Fuddle-de-Duddle. And oh, what a bird of a bird of a bird of. Her tail's the longest that's ever been heard of. So long and so fancy she'd be in a fix. If she didn't have helpers, it takes about 6. to tag along hoisting Miss Fuddle-de-Duddle's wonderful tale out of Muddle-de-Puddles. And Glick is for Glicker, who lives in Wildweeds and spends his time juggling fresh cinnamon seeds, which he's usually able to find in great number, excepting, of course, in the month of September, when cinnamon seeds aren't around in great number, so that month he juggles with seeds of cucumber. And N is the letter I use to spell Nutches, who lives in small caves known as niches for hutches. These nutches have troubles, the biggest of which is the fact that are many more nutches than niches. Each nutch in a niche knows that some other nutch would like to move into his niche very much. So each nutch in a niche has to watch that small niche, or nutches who haven't got niches will snitch. Then we go on to Snee, and the Snee is for Sneedle, a terrible kind of ferocious mosquito whose humdinger stinger is sharp as a needle. The Sneedle's too tough to be killed with a smack, so he has to be hunted on elephant's back, and your eyes and the elephants have to be keen. You have to aim fast and you have to hit clean. And the bullet you shoot is a stale navy bean that you're dumped for 3 weeks in old sour kerosene, which is awfully hard work, so it's easy to see why most people stop at the Z. Not me. When you go beyond zebra, who knows? There's no telling what wonderful things you might find yourself spelling, like Quan. Who lived, like Quan is for quandary, who lives on a shelf, in a hole in the ocean, alone by himself. And he worries each day from the dawn's early light, and he worries, just worries, far into the night. He just stands there and worries. He simply can't stop. In his top is his top side, his bottom or bottom side top. And Thnad is for Thnadners. And oh, are they sad, oh. The big one, you see, has the smaller one's shadow. The shadow the small Thnadder has should be his. I don't understand it, but that's how it is. A terrible mix-up in shadows. Gee whiz. And Spaz is a letter I use to spell Spazin, a beast who belongs to the Nazim of Bazim, handy for traveling. That's why he has him. More easy to pack than a suitcase or grip. Those horns carry all that he needs on a trip. A thread and a needle for mending his socks, his toothbrush, a cup, and 300 clocks. And his velvet umbrella, his vegetable chopper, and also his gold-plated popping corn popper, and a grasshopper cage for his favorite grasshopper. And Floob is for Floop, Boober, Bab, Boober, Bubs. who bounce in the water like blueberry tubs. They're no good to eat. You can't cook them like steaks, but they're handy crossing small oceans and lakes. And Z is the letter I use to spell Zatzit, whose nose is so high that most nobody pets it. And petting his lonely old nose is the least that a fellow could do for this fine, friendly beast. So to get there and to do it, I built an invention, the three-seater Zatzit nose petting extension. If you try to drive one, you'll certainly see why most people stop at the Z, but not me. And jog is my letter for spelling jagoons, who doodle around in the far desert dunes. Just doodle around crooning very sad tunes about peppermint, peanuts, and pebbles and prunes, and paint spots and polka dots, pinheads and pigs, and their grandmothers, grandfathers, stepsisters' wigs. You see, there is no end to the things you might know, depending how far beyond zebra you go. I have a letter called Flan, and Flan is for flannel, a softish, nice fellow who hides in a tunnel. He only comes out of his hole, I'm afraid, when the right kind of softish, nice music is played. On a kind of hunting horn called the ogranth. And to learn how to play, it takes month after month of practicing isn't much fun. And besides, it's quite heavy, weighs almost a ton. That's why few people bother to play the ogranth. So the flannel's been out of this tunnel just once. And way past Z is a letter called H. And the H is for ichthyopods, animals which race around back and forth and back through the air, on a very high sidewalk between here and there. They're afraid to stay there, they're afraid to stay here. They think there is too far, they think here is too near. And since here is too near and there is too far, they are too scared to roost wherever they are. There is a letter called Yak, and the yak is for Yakko, who house in underground grotto in Gecko. These yakkos love echoes, and this is their motto. For best yakko echoes, try Gecko, our grotto. Oh, the things you can find if you don't stay behind. On a world near the sun live two brothers called Vrooms, who strangely enough are built sort of like brooms. And they're stuck all alone up there, high in the blue. And so, to kill time, just for something to do, each one of these fellows takes turns with the other in sweeping the dust of his world with his brother. And Hi is my letter for Hi Gregor Aram, for getting me places real fast. I'm all for them. They puffle along and their brakes never squeak. And they run every hour, every day of the week. From the town of North Nub to the town of East Ounce, making stops at West Bunglefield, Upster and Jones, and Ipswich and Nipswich, and also southbound, in another small town that's too hard to pronounce. The places I took him, I tried hard to tell. Young Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell, a few brand new wonderful words he might spell. I led him around and tried hard to show there are things beyond Z that most people don't know. I took him past zebra as far as I could, and I think perhaps maybe I did him some good. Because finally he said, "This is really great fun. This is really great stuff, and I guess the old alphabet isn't enough." Now the letters he uses are something to see. Most people still stop at the Z, but not he. Now, people, look at the list of the letters for people who don't stop at Z. Yas is for Yasamatas, Wam is for Wambas, is for Ambas, Humph is for Humpafadumfata, Fuddle is for Miss Fuddle de Duddle, Glick is for Glicker, Nu is for Nutches, Sneeze for Sneedle, Quan is for Quandary, Snad is for Snadder, Spaz is for Spazim, Flub is for Flub, Boober, Beb, Boobers, Boob, Zats is for Zatsit, Jog is for Jagoons, Flun is for Flannels, Itch is for Itchapods, Yak is for Yakko, Vru is for Vrooms, High is for High Graggle Aurum, and what do you think we should call this one anyway? Your turn.